Alrighty, so this is going to be part 3 on this tractor here, the wiring harness. So, just going to point out here, my brother just texted me and he's like, you probably didn't need to take that wiring harness out, which is true. I really didn't have to, but the time it did take to pull out of the tractor, it didn't take a long time, took a couple hours, and it's going to take a couple hours putting it back in. But I've got time at work, and it's kind of a slow time anyways, but it's making me more familiar with the tractor, so I think that's a huge plus on this. And you can't beat having that wiring harness or something like that just sitting on your bench in the warmth with some really good lighting, and it's just a lot more comfortable to work on. So that's another reason why I chose to pull the harness off. All right, so I couldn't really find any wires that were wrong with it, and I completed a section of a wiring diagram that should help identify wires and where they go from the instrument cluster, which would be this piece here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So this is the harness, the wiring diagram that I made. I got one wire there that I screwed up, so that's what that squiggling is here. On this right side, there's 36 pins. I wrote down the colors of the wires, and that would be the instrument plug. At the top here, there's a plug that goes into the flasher harness. There is a 5-way for a 5-pin round black plug. That is your ranges. I have a 3-way flat clear auxiliary. Over here I got a 2-way gray connector. Right here is a 14-pin gray male connector that goes into the engine harness, which is would be the opposite of this end here. Then I've got a 14-pin gray male transmission. I call it a transmission, and what that does is it goes down into here. It actually wraps around this section here and winds up in this little area. That would connect into this main harness. And I said it was male, so it would go into the female side. Then also there's a 14-pin gray female, and that would be the one that goes into this male end, in that same section of harness. This would be that 2-way gray connector I've got mentioned right there. There's also a red junction, a gray junction, and a yellow junction. All right. Now I'm going to scan over this, hopefully with good enough lighting, where you can kind of see I have all the colors written down for every single wire. And where they go on this harness. So you'll be able to pause that and check it out. Then I also have what pin number they go to on the harness connector. All right. Now I'll explain how I have these numbered on connectors. All right, so here's the connector, or the wiring harness, sorry. Now, testing the wires, pull the caps off the junctions and pull your fuses, and note that if they bar over to any other wires, that you know where your circuits are to test the wires properly. There's things like the main white wire here. There's actually it'd be a combination of 4 wires, that junction. One of these wires goes through to a fuse, and then 1 comes up, and then 2 come down and go into your other fuses. They're all connected. Now, you also have a lot of, as far as I can tell, all the solid black wires, they run into a junction. Forgot which one it is. I think it's this one, this gray junction. Those are all ground wires that junction and go into this eyelet. That's the ground. You have this main eyelet that has solid brown wires. That's all positive, and they junction in various places, and then they go to white, and that's power feed, and then white changes into another, I think it's like orange and yellow, or teal and yellow, and yada yada yada. Anyways, the way I have these junctions numbered, let me just explain. The way I have them numbered, I had these two clips here that hold on the junction cover. If you have them on the top, I numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on the top, and then 11 through 20 on the bottom, left to right. Now what I did on other plugs, and that's the same way for the red and gray junction. So if I got a female 14-way plug here, that would be the clip, so I use that as a reference for the top, as well as my female. That would be the clip, that would also be the top. So like on the male, the way I numbered them on the back, from the top, this orange one, that would be 1, 2, 3. So it would be right to left, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Same way on here. The reason you do right to left is so when you come over here, you look at front ways, you know it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now I hope I got all that right. And various plugs with 2 or 3, I always number it the same way, so I do 1, 2. The 5-way plug here, the way I numbered it was that red block off. I consider that 1, and then I go to the left, that's 2, and then this yellowish one, yellow purple, that's 3, yellow red is 4, and the blue one is number 5. So I numbered that one a little differently. I hope that all jives up. So all of these wires coming off this 36 pin plug to the instrument cluster, wherever they lead and end on this harness, is on my diagram. Now where they go afterwards, where they go into junctions and all that, I don't have written, and I don't really feel I need to do that for my particular problem, because my problem is when I wiggle the wires, only go into the instrument cluster, few of the lights, turn off and on. The only thing I have missing here is what a lot of the wires do. And what I can tell you is for a fact that this, if you're having problems with medium, low, and high range, you're going to want to look at that 5-way round plug, because that's going to be your low, medium, and high. Water temp goes to the engine, so that would be this 14-pin gray male to the engine. And I think it's either the blue green or the teal blue. I think it's the teal blue that runs over. It's at pin number 14. I can actually go over here. So I got 1, 2, 3. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's no 13 there. 1, 4, and 8. Actually, I think it's that blue and black one, if I remember right. Blue, green, teal, blue, and yellow, brown. Fuck. All right, so I just checked out like my water temperature sensor, just as a reference, because that goes straight back to the instrument cluster. That's a teal and blue wire. You could also consider it green and blue, but it's teal. A lot of the green and teal colors are hard to see. Like this one's teal right there. So if it's teal and blue, it would be the number 14 wire on the this red plug for the instruments. It comes over, and it's pin number 1. So if we find the clip here, for an example, it would be right on top. And it'd be pin number 1 on this, would cross over from the female into this one up here on the right. So you'd kind of do reverse numbering on this one as well. So pin number 1 would be right here where it crosses over, and that is your water temp. So that was just an example of how to figure out at least one wire. Now, that's kind of that for the harness. Like I said, I don't have all the lights and wires rigged up here, and I didn't quite figure out where my my fuel gauge is. So, but that's another story. So I hope that helps you. All right, so the last kind of option I got here, which is when I wiggle my plugs and wires close to this connection, that's when my lights are coming on and off. I do have one separate issue where my left signal light is dim. Now that makes me want to believe either the connection's not great or the wire's bad. But if you look really closely in here, shit. This is take 2. All right, so for the final option here I have on fixing this without doing anything to the wiring harness, knowing that the wires are good, the only thing I have left to do is to try to make these pins fit better on the wire harness. So on the wire harness side, they're like a female connector, and here they're male connectors. And if you look up here, these male connectors are split into 2 pieces. So what I did here was I took a pick, and actually it was a different shaped one, but I stuck it in there, and I was able to twist it and expand it just a little bit so they make better contacts in those female connectors, which would be right in here. So, you know, they're circular. The other option is to try to get these out, which I don't have a tool, and compress them a little bit to make them fit better. And on top of that, the last thing I got here is to use some electronic cleaner to clean up all the contacts, and some non-conductive dielectric grease. I don't even know if this is, I thought this was conductive. I really don't know. I'm not really comfortable with using this, but you know, just an example. I'm putting that in the plugs to make better connections, and you know, make it a little watertight as well. All right, so I kind of did as much as I could on this wiring harness for now, and I'm going to start putting it all back together on the tractor. So, all right, thanks for watching, and I'll see if I make a video putting this all back in. Take it easy.